What's going on, everyone? So, I want to quickly go over a few pairs. So, this webinar is going to be counted as Markup Monday, it's just going to be posted a little bit late. So, let's dive in. The first pair that I'm going to be looking at is the overall dollar index because that's the main currency that most people trade is the overall US dollar. And looking at the overall dollar, you can clearly see that the overall momentum is still bearish. Looking at this, pulling up to the daily time frame, price broke below that 96 support I talked about on the last Markup Monday, and then now we're currently at that 95 support level. So now we're going to wait to see if the dollar is trying to break or bounce from that 95 support level, because this is going to be a new critical region, and this would be new lows down here. So because we finally got that slight break, if we don't break below this 95, we may see a push up back up towards 95.50, towards 96 resistance. That might be the retracement before we get that continuation back down. So we could see something to where the market just needs to make a slight retracement back up to the upside, find resistance, because this level right here was also a key level here and here. So that might be enough for the retracement, and then we might see the continuation to the downside. But now if the market pushes up to this level and it breaks above that level, then we're going to wait to see how it acts on that push back down. If it breaks back below that, then we're waiting for the retest to continue back down. If it pushes down and it holds on top of 96 resistance, now we'll be acting as support. We will look for it to push up and possibly reach that next resistance around 96.50. All right. So overall, right now, the overall dollar index is bearish, but it may be time for that correction phase before we continue the overall trend, the overall bearish trend. So just keep your eyes on that. Wait to see what happens around that 95 support region on the overall dollar index. All right. So USD CAD. This pair has already started to move pretty bearish early this week. Let me just delete some of this. Okay, yeah, so it's been bearish, of course, since then. We had that clean breakout. Now all prices did was push up towards that 137, and that was acting as resistance. And with that, the current market structure, it can be called a possible head and shoulders. I wouldn't trade it just based off the head and shoulders pattern, but just looking how it's set up, this could have been classified as one. Left shoulder here. This could have been in the head, and then this would have been the right shoulder. But more importantly, after price broke below 136 right here, price found support at 135 and then retested that. And that also formed the right shoulder, retested that 136 resistance, gave us a strong bearish engulfing candle. Price retested, could not break back above 136, and then now we've seen that continuation. So now we're either going to see USD CAD drop back down to the downside, just continue with no retracements, or you're going to see a slight retracement back up towards possibly 135, 135.50 before pushing back down towards 133.50 and possibly 133 support range. As long as we stay in this overall trend, and if this structure right here holds, then we're just going to look to take this lower overall. I would just like to see price retest, if we can, that 135 region one more time before taking it back down to the downside. All right, NZDUSD. I was bearish. What was that? Probably yesterday. It still can go bearish as of right now. It looks like the New Zealand dollar is gaining some type of bullish momentum. So even if you look right here, price just broke above this most recent high. But even right now, it's still too early to call that a clear break because this candle is still forming. It'll be better to call this an actual break above if the next two candles were to close above the actual resistance. But because we're on this specific candle right now, on this current candle, then just because price is above this resistance doesn't mean that the overall market is broken. So you need to wait to see the market close above this, and then you need to wait for the next candle or two to also close above that same level. So as of right now, it's looking like the market does want to go higher. So, but we're just going to wait for the next. We're going to wait until actually 2 p.m. So wait until a new daily candle closes and see how that acts. So looking at it on the daily, you would want price. You see how on the daily time frame, even right now, it looks more so like a bullish hammer. So if the market closes like that, I'm not really looking for sales anymore, because more than likely you're going to see the price break the highs. But if this doesn't close with so much bullish momentum like how it looks right now, then we could potentially see a slight move to the downside. As of right now, I was favoring sales, but as of right now, it's looking like it's getting ready to possibly go higher. So I'll just wait and let the market show me what it's really trying to do. If we get those closes above, then overall we could see NZD push back up towards 0.90. But if we break back below 0.89 and hold below that, then overall we can see NZD push back down another 50 to 100 pips. It's just right now the market looks more bullish. And you also can draw a slight trend line from this low like that. So the market would need to break back below this trend line in order for the sales to look more valid. All right, EURUSD. So EURUSD, you can draw a trend line possibly from this point out. So yeah, so that could possibly be a trend line, or you can start it from another one of these points, possibly like this. Doing it like this is not steep enough, so I would probably do it the first one that I did, just so it's not too steep, because you don't want the trend line just to get broken off the smallest move. You want it to be an actual valid break. So something like this, because now the trend line is also around the same area of 50 EMA. So right now it's looking like the overall market is bullish, but we may have railed up that bullish move to its peak, so we might be getting ready for an actual retracement right now. So I really just need to see if the market wants to close and hold above 123 resistance. Right now it's currently above it, but this is just like, it's just spiking above it right now. I need to see if it wants to break. I need to see this close above this box, and I need to see the next few candles also were to close above that box. Then that will let me know that the market will more than likely go higher. But if the momentum like right now is looking like it's slowing down, and if we start to see more wick rejections within this box zone, we might see, if we start to see more wick rejections within this zone, then we might start to see a slight retracement back down towards 122.50 to 122 support. Or we could bounce down to the trend line and then just give us another attempt, do something like this, that's why you don't really want to assume. You just want to take what the market gives you. It's just a lot of times you just want to be able to kind of factor in both scenarios. So in this case, I'll be ready for, if the market breaks above, I'll be ready for possible longs on the retest. And then also, if the market starts to reject multiple times, let me cancel this. Yeah, so if the market starts to reject from this level multiple times, I could just put my stops above the high and then catch the move to the downside. Once I'm up a few pips, or once I'm up 20, 30 pips, I could just move my stop loss to break even. Just because the overall trend is bullish, so you don't want to get caught selling too long, you know what I mean? Just because the overall trend is bullish. So if I did catch the sell, then overall, this would just be a counter trend trade. All right, so GBPJPY. So yeah, GBPJPY, that's another pair. I'm looking for this to possibly drop another 50 to 100 pips, and then we can see that continuation to the upside. So as of right now, I'm just looking for the drop. Once we get to that possible support range, that's when I'll reevaluate, because it could just drop straight through that support that I think that it's going to hold at. So that's why you just catch the drop. Once price gets to that level, then that's when you want to reevaluate to see if it's going to bounce from there, or if the momentum is going to continue its strength and just break through that support. So that's why I have these two scenarios. So boom, if price pushes down and finds support, you start to see momentum slow down. You start to see bullish reversals around here. you'll look for the buys possibly back up towards 136 and possibly to a new high. If it breaks through 135.5 to 135.3 level, then more than likely it's going to push down towards 135 support towards 134.50. If it does that and it holds, then you're going to see the market push back up to the upside. If it comes down and it pushes back up, you would need the market to break back above this level in order for the overall bulls to have full momentum. If the market pushes down here and it just pushes up here, the bulls still don't have full control. It's just they just needed to come in because the market just dropped all the way down here, if that makes sense. So a lot of times you can be a little confusing about knowing when you're in a bull or a bear trend. In this sense, because we found support multiple times here, we had about 6 4-hour bullish candles. So that's letting us know that the overall, and we just broke above this most recent high right here around 136. So it's letting us know that the overall trend is more so bullish in this case. So now on this pullback, we're just trying to see if it wants to give us a slight pullback for the continuation or if it wants to give us a deeper pullback. All right. And let me see. I got a few more pairs I can look at. Let me see. EURUSD. Yeah, so just like how I talked about the dollar index, it looks like this pair has been pretty bullish. Most recently, the last 4-hour candle closing a bullish engulfing, showing that the bulls are still fully in control of this market. So you can draw zone out like this, boom. So now, yeah, as long as the market stays above this overall zone where it broke out of, the market is still bullish. Because this is an extended trend, we could get a deeper retracement. But in this case, because when price pushed up to here, the candlestick started to get smaller, and you start to see a slowdown in momentum. So because we got that strong breakout afterwards, now we need to see if the market can hold above that in order for the market to push higher. If we hold above overall 114.5 to 1.15 support, then we can see EU pushing back up towards 1.16. And that's pretty much the same for all XXX/USD type pairs for the most part. They're all going bullish. Some of them are going to correct faster than others, but for the most part, this is how they're looking, to where they already pushed up to critical levels. They did not reject, and they broke out. So that's letting us know that the overall momentum is still bullish. All right, so GU. All right, so yeah, GU, it just broke the highs, and it hit 1275. So with that, we would like to see a slight retracement before possibly continuing that overall momentum to the upside. So you have multiple supports where the market had to break out of around this region right here. So that'd be the first level I would like to see GU come towards, around 1265, if we could get a retest of that region. If we could get a retest there, I would like to see either a bounce. We're either going to get a bounce or we're going to get a break. And if we break below 1265, then of course price will be coming towards the 50 EMA around 126 support level. Yep, like that. So that's what I would like to see for this type of pair. So yeah, it'll just be a slight retracement, but overall the momentum has been bullish because we just broke out this level here. After we broke out, price retested and then gave us that continuation out. So we either going to get this drop down, continuation up, or we're going to get this drop and a break through this and just make a deeper retracement. So just got to monitor and see, but that's where I'll be waiting for price to come to. And if it shows something that shows any type of bullish reversals, then that's when you look to enter around that region. All right, yeah, so those are, it's about what? DXY, GJ, EJ, NZD CAD, USD CAD, GU, EU. So it's about 7 pairs. So yeah, we'll give out more updates in Discord VIP group. So if you guys have been watching this channel, you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. We've been posting more consistent updates in the YouTube channel, so keep an eye out for that. All right, yes. So I'll see you guys on the next webinar sometime later this week.